Hey Superdoodlers, how are you doing? Well, this is a dummy book of my book Special Delivery, and you can click up here and see how I did all the artwork. Just recently I spent about 10 days doing it solid. As it says here, this is a first draft layout, change name. So yes, and the names have changed, so that's why it's a first draft. Things can change. Penny and Bendy now are spelt with I's and not Y's. I'm going to be doing this as a Kickstarter. I've kind of hummed and hawed, but I am going to be doing it. So I'm going to be talking a lot about that over the next few days, weeks, whatever. And so what I'm intending is that on the inside cover, it's going to be like this. These are going to be special delivery slots for cherished supporters who want to have a really special kind of link with this book. And so as you can see, I'm actually going to have to change the typeface on here. Let me zoom in, because once I printed this out I realised this typeface is a little thin. So you'll have the name, date of birth and where born, and it could be anybody from 1928 to born last week. So that is the idea, and I'm going to give each cherished supporter the opportunity to choose what baby animal they want to have in these little squares. But what I really need to do, this draft isn't good enough, because as you can see inside it's just black and white, very rough sketches, and what I want to do is to make a new dummy with all the colour artwork in place so that it'll look really good in my Kickstarter promo movie. First thing I'm going to do is to switch those lights on and switch my light pad on, and I'm going to start just by drawing lots of circles. So I'm using the bigger size so that I know that I can just reduce it down a little bit. Yeah, this is a rough, it's not the final thing, and I'm also kind of still working out things and how they fit and whatever, so you know, it's all still a movable feast. Don't make the final commitment until I actually send the files to the printer. So what I need to do is to draw 12 little animals. And in my sketchbook, I have been doing little sketches of little baby animals and bigger grown-up animals, so that I can kind of use those sketches to work from. So I could take the light table away, switch my lights back on, and now I'm just going to start drawing some of these funny little things. And do a piggy kind of thing. That's Mrs. Rayner. I'll give a couple little hairs. Like, I'm not sure what this one is. I think it's a kind of a monkey thing. I'm not quite sure. And so I'll get this one just a little kind of body, like that, and maybe a curly tail, and then we'll have some buttons down the front, and then we got that kind of popper thing that babies have in their baby grows. And then yes, and then we're going to have little smile, I think, and then just a little bit of expression. So I'll start about there, I think, like that, and then and this is going to be a unicorn kind of thing, like that, and it'll be more sort of square hooved, and having to really kind of think about this as I'm going along. And then we probably have a nice long tail behind. Right, then we're going to have done like so this will be like a rhinoceros kind of thing. Ooh, maybe a little smile coming up there, and we want rhinoceros to be quite tubby. So we'll have so this is the the baby grow sort of bursting open, and then we can have little feet there as well, and again a little tail. It's very easy to forget the tails, and then I think we'll do something like that. Big ears, and this is going to be like a baby lion. And so we'll have a kind of paw. And a nice long kind of swishy tail. And again, that kind of baby thing. So now I'm going to have a little birdie. And a little tail. I don't know why I made him cross. Just seemed appropriate somehow. Let's have a little like a little kitten. Little things like that. I don't think it's quite babyish enough. I'm rushing. I think, you know, when I actually do the final things, then I'll be much more kind of careful. I'll be doing rough sketches and all sorts of stuff like that. So basically, I just want something that's kind of going to look good on video, and there's a kind of, you know, things aren't always, you know, kind of, it just sort of flashes by on a video, and people aren't really concentrating that much on what's going on. So, hang on, let's have. So it's. I don't think it's cheating, but it's because I'm doing quite a lot of work for something that's, you know, just going to have a fleeting moment. Really, it needs to look good, but it doesn't have to be perfect. But for the individuals who are going to have that sort of slot with their name on there, then it needs to be perfect when the time comes. And I spend a lot more time on that. How about? I think it's quite difficult to do sort of baby alligator, really. I think it's probably quite a lot is in the tail like that, and then maybe we need to have a kind of a crisscross pattern on the on the front. It doesn't quite look baby enough. There's a real kind of thing to getting a you know, a baby animal look like a baby, and it's kind of all in the sort of relationship of where the face and the eyes and things go. So let's try. I think it'd be quite nice to have all sorts of other toys and things around with some of them. So if I got any room here, we could have a rattle. And maybe a ball, just to add a bit of sort of extra. I'd have to have a big think about that, but I think that's fine for the moment. Here I've scanned them at 300 dots per inch, which is what we need for printing resolution. And I am now going to copy that. I'm going to press new. I'm going to call it baby 1. I'm going to go, and I'm going to paste, and then I'm going to delete the background there, and I am going to get my magic wand, and I'm going to cut out all that white around there. I probably need to erase a little bit down there. Square brackets will make that smaller, and I'll just sort of clean up around there a little bit, and that will be fine. I think maybe a bit around there too. Okay, I've got a folder here, and I'm going to save that in there, and that'll be fine. So then I can get rid of that, and then I get my lasso, and I just work my way through all of these. Copy new, and put that in there, and then we're going to want to again get rid of all that, get rid of the background, and we're going to keep that bit there. That looks fine. Save. Okay, I'm going to work my way through all of these. Okay, this is inDesign, and I am sharing all of this, the whole thing, with my patrons on the Illustrator level. So if you've ever wondered how to create a picture book, this is your big chance. Come and join me on Patreon on the Illustrator level. And I'm giving away all my professional secrets for creating picture books. So I've got a whole lot of layers here. Look, I can switch all these various things off like that and switch them all back on again. Oh, get back to layers. And I have got this one layer here, which is the baby layer. So I've locked all the layers except the baby layer. So now I want to start placing these babies. So that's a very odd order, isn't it? Where's baby 1? There we are. And so I can now place that little baby in there. I don't know why it's looking so blocky. Display performance, high quality. Yeah, there we go. So let's do that. So that's fitting nicely in there. Baby 1, baby 2. It's going to come in there. And that just drops in there behind all these top layers like that. Because I got that locked. And it's just going to drop into that layer really neatly. And so I've sort of thought ahead on this, thinking, baby 3, where we go, thinking, that I need to kind of do quite a lot of work on this at some point, and I'm going to need to be dropping things in and out, and that would be the easiest thing. And there we go, they are all set in. I'm going to put a bit of text in here. You can see I've changed the typeface here because this is just too thin, and I'm going to change them all very simply by clicking. I've got a character style, which will just change that, and I just need to kind of move it up a little bit. So 1, 2, so I'm just moving it sort of, yeah, like that. It's just kind of a point or two like that up. This is the incredible power of something like inDesign, and also you'd be able to do this on Affinity Publisher. There's another reason you want to join me on Patreon, because I'll very soon be doing a whole book. I'm going to start from scratch with using Affinity, which is an awful lot cheaper than Photoshop. So if I take my time and set up layers, and I set up styles and things like that, then any little changes can be done really quite quickly. So now I'm going to put some text in here, and I think I'm going to add a whole new layer again, and I'm going to call this middle text. And I think, in fact, I'm going to do pen tool. I'm going to do a point there, and a point there, and a point about there. Side. And then I'm going to use the type on the path tool. Right, this book is 4. Now that is just looking a bit too fancy, really, and I don't have to. That's actually my handwriting version, that one. Yes, I have a typeface which is just my logo. Look, sign painter, I actually quite like that. And then I'm going to put a line across there. That to be that same green again. Now we need to come to the stroke. You want Japanese dots or something just dotted is less. There we are, that's sign painter, there we are. We could do capital there. So I'm going to take that up a bit to there. Special delivery day. So I want this to be on A3 paper now. I'm going to have to set the printer up again. And here we have a printout for me to check through. So what I would be expecting to do is something that this book is for Betty, something like that. Special delivery place at home, and special delivery day 21/6/19. One of the things I'm going to have to think about is to say to people, how would you like me to put the date in exactly those terms, because Americans do it in a different order to how we do it. All sorts of little details like that. The next thing I'm going to do is make my dummy book, and I'll be making a video completely about that on its own, which I will be sharing with my patrons on the Illustrator level in Patreon. Another good reason to come and join me over there. And there you can see pages for the dummy book coming out of the printer. So thanks for watching this far, and do come and join me on Patreon. And in the meantime, keep drawing, practice, and I'll see you next time. You take care now. Bye bye.